Christine, how much does it hurt the WNBA when Caitlin Clark is out?
It is devastating to the WNBA when Caitlin Clark is out.
I know a lot of us were expecting some sort of dip since Caitlin Clark has been out with injury, but I don't think all of us were expecting the entire viewership of the entire WNBA to be down. And this tweet from Christine Brennan really stuck out to me. She said one player gets injured and more than half the TV audience for the entire league disappears. Has any other athlete ever had that kind of impact on a sport? Golf without Tiger definitely dropped precipitously on occasion.
The WNBA is facing a severe financial collapse, struggling as its fortunes fall apart without Caitlin Clark playing. Once again, the league has shown it hasn't learned anything about safeguarding the very player who alone lifted them from obscurity into the spotlight. This is the tale of a league that keeps sabotaging itself while its star sits injured on the sidelines, and how its refusal to face reality is costing it millions of dollars every single day.
And the truth is the truth, and the data is there. And what we saw when Caitlin was out the last time, the 5 games that she missed earlier in the season, the WNBA's viewership dropped more than 50%. Not just the Fever, but the entire league.
In today's era of social media hype and manufactured drama, true facts are as rare as a sold-out WNBA game without Caitlin Clark. When Clark was sidelined with a quad injury on May 24th, it became painfully obvious how much the league relies on a single player. Now, with her out again due to a groin injury for an indefinite period, we're witnessing the same story all over again.
Injury jumped to her groin likely because of compensation. But the thing that you have to be careful of is if, say, you try to rush her back from this injury as well, then you're getting into this territory where a very serious injury can happen. That is what the Indiana Fever, that is what Caitlin need to avoid the best that they possibly can. So if it means that Caitlin is out for 3 weeks, if it means that she is out all the way through All-Star, then so be it.
Nationally televised WNBA games saw viewership collapse by an astonishing 55%, with Indiana Fever games dropping 53%, from an average of 1.81 million viewers when Clark played to just 847,000 without her. And here's where it gets truly absurd. Though, for a league that never seems to learn from its own mistakes, this predictable disaster comes as no surprise.
Clark went down. The WNBA ratings have dropped over 55% across the board.
Hey, guess what, guys?
The league is Caitlin Clark.
The league is Caitlin Clark. She is the WNBA, guys.
Sidelined with a left quad strain May 24th, national TV viewership has plunged since then 55%. Before the injury, the Fever, her team, were averaging 1.81 million viewers, almost 2 million. Since her injury, fewer than 850,000.
While Caitlin Clark was doing what she does best, packing arenas, shattering TV rating records, and driving record-breaking revenue, the WNBA was doing what it does best, nothing to safeguard its most valuable player. Because apparently, when one athlete accounts for 26.5% of the league's entire economic output, the smart move is to let opponents target her freely while the league talks endlessly about basketball fundamentals.
News is alarming for the league, and it's alarming for the league because this is such a crucial year for the WNBA. At the end of this season, the WNBA will go into CBA negotiations. If negotiations go well, then every single player in the WNBA has a much better chance of making so much more in their next contract. And that's one thing when you start thinking about how many people stopped watching when Caitlin Clark got injured. A lot of people stopped watching because they are boycotting the WNBA. They don't want to give viewership to any other teams or any other players, whether they like other players on the team or not, because of how the media and the league itself has handled Caitlin Clark and how they have treated her face.
What's especially striking and infuriating is that this isn't new. The league keeps repeating the same mistakes, unable to learn from its own history. This isn't the first time WNBA ratings and revenue have tanked when their top star was sidelined. It's like watching someone touch a hot stove, get burned, and then immediately reach for it again while insisting they had no idea what would happen.
What's really concerning about this is the fact that we are only a month into the regular season, and Caitlin Clark has already been out with 2 injuries. With the first one being her having to miss some time with a left quad strain. Now, of course, this is concerning because if you're already on your second injury, you don't want to be that player that is always hurt. Cough, cough, Embiid, cough, cough, Anthony Davis. So I really do hope that the Fever really sits her out right now for a while, only because you don't want her to have more long-term injuries and be more prone.
If you're following along, don't forget to subscribe. The financial impact has been swift and brutal. Ticket prices for Fever games have dropped by 71%, with some going from $860 down to just $250. Across the games Clark missed, the average ticket price fell from $1,370 to $80, a staggering decline that clearly shows who truly drives interest in the league. Even road games that had been moved to larger arenas to meet the demand for Clark tickets are now struggling to fill seats. The Chicago Sky vs. Fever rematch, once one of the season's most anticipated games, saw ticket prices plunge from $210 to $95. This is the same matchup that previously drew 2.25 million viewers, ranking among the most watched WNBA games ever. But without Clark, it becomes just another game that casual fans don't care about.
Man, bruh. Congratulations to the WNBA. Your ratings are going to drop by 55 to 60% once again. I believe the WNBA have successfully broken Caitlin Clark.
Christine Brennan, the seasoned sports journalist whose upcoming book on her game, Caitlin Clark and the Revolution in Women's Sports promises to reveal the league's shortcomings, has been a relentless critic of how the WNBA treats its star player. After yet another incident where Clark was targeted by opponents, Brennan wrote that the league is still failing to rise to the occasion. Fans are watching like never before, and this is the scene they see. Brennan's critique gets straight to the point. The league knows Clark alone draws over half its TV audience, yet it continues to let her face cheap shots and harsh fouls meant only to intimidate their top draw. It's like a restaurant owner standing by as customers harass the chef, the very chef whose cooking keeps the business alive.
As big a deal as Tiger was in men's golf, Keith, he did, and when he was gone, it affected the ratings, but nothing like that. And, Michael Jordan being out, maybe a 5 percentage points or something. Nothing like this. You can make a strong case, and I will make that case, and have that there is no one single athlete more important to his or her sport or tour or whatever the circuit is that they play on than Caitlin Clark is to the WNBA.
The pattern has become both predictable and infuriating. Clark is targeted with hard fouls by opponents who seem more intent on sending a message than playing basketball. Out of the league's 30 flagrant fouls in 2024, 5 were committed against Clark, with the Chicago Sky responsible for 80% of those. If she responds physically, she's labeled too aggressive. If she doesn't, she's called soft. It's a no-win scenario the league created and refuses to fix. Meanwhile, the financial consequences keep mounting, not just for the Fever, but for the entire WNBA. The league was already projected to lose $50 million this year, and despite Clark's ability to boost popularity, her absence is accelerating losses as TV ratings crash, merchandise sales stall, and attendance returns to pre-Clark levels.
I don't even know where to begin, man. I hope Caitlin Clark is okay. I want to know when this injury even happened, bro, because let's be serious here. She has the quad injury. Mind you, Caitlin Clark hadn't missed a game since she was like 19 years old, since she was like 18 in college or something. Now she has a groin injury. We've never seen Caitlin Clark play as bad as she played the last 3 games. Let's just be serious here. She's like 1 for 20-something on threes in the last 3. We've never seen her shoot the ball this way. I'll say that. Has she been hurt and playing through this?
The WNBA's ongoing crisis is entirely self-inflicted. Caitlin Clark, a humble rookie turned superstar, drives arenas, TV ratings, and revenue, yet the league repeatedly fails to protect her from targeted fouls and cheap shots, letting jealousy and petty politics overshadow the sport. Her absence causes ticket prices, viewership, and merchandise sales to plummet, exposing the league's dependence on a single player. Sponsors are questioning investments, fans are losing trust, and the WNBA risks returning to irrelevance if it doesn't establish clear player protection and competitive standards. Clark's popularity could have built a sustainable foundation for growth, but the league's inaction has created a fragile system that collapses without her. Until the WNBA prioritizes safeguarding its stars, it will continue to cycle through these destructive boom and bust periods.